Bonjour, and welcome back to the French campaign and Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, and hola to the Chilean Navy, which just arrived to greet us here in the North Sea. They're far from home. I'm pretty sure they're low on fuel. I'm not so far from home. I've been getting resupplied on the way here. I'm pretty sure I'm not low on fuel. And their battleship should be fairly decent, though. It's one of the share design ships I made. Let's see. We're gonna do the same thing as we did versus the Ottomans. That is, have the torpedo boats circle around the back. And then hit the battleship after it's being engaged by my battleships. There is the battleship. 12-inch main belt, 5 fore and aft. It's got 12-inch main guns, same as me. And it's got 5-inch secondaries. And the weather instantly worsens. This is one of those kind of default battleship hulls. Many other nations have this exact kind of battleship. Well, I say default. I guess it's British originally, but... it's less unique than the characteristic French tumble home. Anyway, main guns. Focus that battleship. And this light cruiser is an AI design. They were, their cruiser is low on fuel. Their armored cruiser, that is. Bringing these around again. Actually, TB90T10. Seeing as this cruiser is low on fuel, the armored cruiser, you might be able to handle that one on your own. Do you have torps? You do have torps. So we're probably going to take one in return here. That's a nice spread. That cruiser is maneuvering though, but we're gonna get it with 2. Can we get TB90T10 out of here? Not until she fixes her engines, I think. Tourville is fighting in the Valparaiso. Didn't quite sink the cruiser, but it's hurting pretty bad. Might have cost me a torpedo boat if it can't get out of there. possible, I want to slow down that battleship so my torpedo boats can catch up. They're doing 13.6 knots. Still have an engine out on this one. I thought they'd be lower on fuel for more of their ships. But I guess it was just that one cruiser keeping the entire enemy task force back. Because I saw on the campaign map that they had like one turn remaining before they arrived to where they were going, and then that got changed to like 4 turns remaining. It was a pretty good sign that they just ran out of fuel. But that could happen even if only one ship is out of fuel and the rest of the task force is supplied. We got some flooding, we got some engine damage. We have one torpedo boat already on its attack run. So we've claimed Spanish battleships, Ottoman battleships. Let's add a Chilean battleship to the list of capital ships sank by torpedo boats. And I don't think... Nope. Not needed. So, let's turn our attention back to the remaining armored and light cruiser. Let's see, Confederación. 7-inch guns. I'd say this is not bad for an AI design. This one, not quite so impressive. That's a lot of 6-inch guns though. Let's speed up the battleships. You fixed your engine, but you're now low on fuel. And you have no more torpedoes left, so you can just keep running. Let's get some more torpedoes on that cruiser. It's gonna be difficult because it's kiting away. But it's also low on fuel and flooding and damage, so we hit it twice, but both were duds. This is not good. Confederation is not as slow as the armored cruiser. I've yet to lose a torpedo boat. This might be the first. We got 2 engines out. Does it have enough momentum to close into torpedo launch range? That's the question. Probably not. Yeah, that is one torpedo boat that's not getting out, I think. TB90 T8. That was a pretty stupid attempt. I should have assumed that wouldn't work. But if we're lucky... And we're about to sink this armored cruiser. The battleships are just slowly passing by it. And we lost that torpedo boat, sadly. That's not so bad if we can bag a battleship and an armored cruiser. Both of you load AP, please. And turn off your secondary guns. I want to maximize that AP accuracy. Because you don't have that many shells left. So I don't think the secondaries were doing much. This thing is pretty well protected. Come on, we're not that far away. I'm detaching to Ville. You're gonna go straight for that light cruiser, which now ran out of fuel. See, now my torpedo boat could have caught it. I mean, because it's now doing 10 knots thereabouts. In Bretagne, you can just close in. Finish this guy. Oh, weather improved. I can see our smoke screen there. %96 chance to hit. Somehow 3 of those shells missed. There we go. Get some decent hull hits now. As for you... we did get a good main belt pen on this one, right at the end there. Well, you can come up. Help chase after Confederation. Confederation, I mean. You can speed up 17 knots. This one is doing almost 12. But definitely no longer with that flooding and the engines out. Oh, it's slowed to 4. Now, question is, will this be enough victory points to force Chile into surrender? Something like that, maybe? Should have maybe been the battleship. But at least she's going down. Nice. Sad loss of the torpedo boat, but at least the torpedoes claimed another battleship. Which, I think this would have been hard to sink with my own battleships. Because it was a pretty sturdy ship in terms of armor. 2 transports lost, South Pacific. They had some more ships here, didn't they? Or am I wrong? Here, Chile. South Pacific. 'Cause I got islands here too, right? That's 4 armored cruisers, 2 lights. The closest ships to deal with that would be these ones. But I want to keep them here to make sure that the naval invasion goes through. So I'm going to send them out next turn instead. And the Chileans can just keep doing their thing in the meantime. I do got this task force, right? Any Chilean islands here? Yeah. Can I not go through the Panama Canal? Or it's not opened yet, is it? It doesn't exist yet. Right. In that case... Well, I guess we have a battleship and an armored cruiser coming in here this way. Let's gather these ships here. Have them just be sure that they're all resupplied and stuff. Can't get to this one because they have that channel. I can maybe strike Smyrna. Maybe. That would be nice. Alright, let's see. Can have use it here. And you guys, you didn't encounter any Chileans anyway. That was these ships doing that. Bilbao? Will that be enough to blockade Spain? Or will I have to get something here as well? We'll see. My armies here are actually pushing in from here. How's this going? 94% and 29%. We might be taking southern Spain. In which case, you guys are going here to Cadiz. I'm gonna assume that my army will take southern Spain. That would be a pretty nice grab, wouldn't it? Oh, are they gonna send some ships there? They are. 1 battleship, 1 armored cruiser. Okay. So they're just going there. Well, we are not linking up in Abidjan. We are linking up here, waiting for Chile. No owned battleships in this force, but I think my armored cruisers should be able to handle it. Maybe. Well, onwards. And we are blockading Spain. 4 transports lost, South Pacific. These 2 torpedo boats, you can rejoin your task force. They've had their damaged torpedo boat returned to them. Excellent. They might be fighting something in Smyrna. Now, having taken the Caroline Islands, this task force is free to move. Where are you heading? That's very far away. We'll see. Maybe they'll change their minds. Spain has almost no ships left. What's their army logistics? 4%. How about the Ottomans? Are they also starving? 22%. That means as long as Spain is at 4%, I have a very good chance of grabbing, is it northern Spain? Yes, same army numbers. Just kind of confusing how the arrow is just going through western Spain. But I guess the advance is actually going like over here. Right. We got a decent monthly balance now. Transport capacity is climbing back up. Once it hits 200%, I can reduce this, save a bunch of money, and then we're going to build some ships. Now, the... not sure if I've uploaded it yet, but the heavy cruiser vote. The ones in that design competition, I will not be able to build them for quite a few years. Because they're like 10 to 11,000 tons. So I'm gonna need to build some cruisers before then as like an interim solution. Maybe we'll do that next turn if we don't get a big battle or two. And a bunch of nations like me. And we get to sink 2 more Ottoman light cruisers. Now, Pierre-Henri and Terrible are pretty good at this. They're both veterans now. Right. Am I gonna need the torpedo boats for this? Again, probably not. Let's reduce you somewhat. And have you do circles there. Ships use less fuel if they're not going full speed. East. Yeah, they were dead ahead. I think I'd like to actually finish off Spain. Because since they've gone through a revolution, if I let them, you know, get a peace treaty and build back up, they're gonna get a pretty pretty strong economy over time. Let's just turn off the secondaries. There we go. So main belt overpens actually, but you can stop making splashes too. Accuracy on these, not that impressive. As soon as we can force the Ottomans to give me a peace treaty, I'll send them to port. Give them a refit. And improved explosives should also improve the accuracy here, because that would improve the range. I don't quite have the first rangefinder yet, though. Let's have Davut come help out with this one. You can score AP penetrations. Come on. There we go. Meanwhile, the first one is taking a lot of hits. Rudder, engine. I think the amount of 6-inch guns on these cruisers is just so that they're gonna eat up any torpedo boat that gets close. And there we go, flash fires on Iskodra. I was waiting for that to happen to these Ottoman light cruisers one day, seeing as they have so many guns. There should be so many chances to make one explode. That was Pierre-Henri being credited with those flash fires, not Davut. There. 2 more light cruisers down. 3 transports lost, South Pacific. Now, Ottoman Empire. Will you see reason? Yeah, it said last turn it was 1 turn to arrive. Now it's 3 turns, because they just ran out of fuel. These ships keep sailing. And since I asked the Ottomans for peace treaty, I can't launch a naval invasion of any of these islands. Fuel is low on some of these torpedo boats already. But we should be getting supplied from here at least. Let's see. Anyway, I said I was going to design a an armored cruiser. So let's go do that. But first, I just realized you can finally build refits. I didn't even know this was an update to the mod, but yeah, that's great. That is really good news. That means I won't have to like worry about making like copies of the refit and then refits of the copies and then have 5 different designs that are essentially the same. Awesome. Now, there's still only 1 armored cruiser hull available. 7,500 is the new limit. So we can at least build them a little bit bigger than the Thionvilles at 6,000. So that's neat. Optimal speed 18 knots. These go 17. 17.5 is their speed. Main tower. Secondary tower. I can place this a lot of places. Let's just put it there right now. And it seems like we'll need 4 funnels again on this one as well. Just like on the Thionville. Maybe? Yeah, once I get induced boilers, I think we can pretty much cut the number of funnels on each ship in half. Because they're going to be so much more effective. Main guns, there's no question, it's got to be 9-inch guns. I do have the 10-inch Mark II pretty soon, though. Yeah, we're gonna do 3 main gun turrets today. Could also put 6-inch guns on these mounts. They do count as main guns, though. They'd be getting it with, like, guns of different caliber thing. So we're just gonna stick with 5s. It's a little bit prettier if it's like putting out like that. Actually, it can go straight aft. Nice. But now we're close to that weight limit. That pesky weight limit. Let's go reduced ammo. White powder and gun cotton. Decent performance. Yeah, maybe not like enough to threaten the heaviest battleships, but still something. Can make them 9.6s. And then we have some good punch here. How far back can we put that before this turret gets angry? Because I want the angle here to clear these lifeboats, which are a little bit in the way. Looking good? That's pretty sweet with the third turret. That's fairly powerful. Do we have to worry about deck penetrations at this stage of the game? Not really. Looking at 0.3 inches at max range. We cannot have that much belt armor, sadly. What is our flash fire chance now? 34%. Not cool. We're gonna have to reduce that armor a bit. There, add some armor to the secondary guns as well. Okay, conning tower couldn't take that much armor. That's fine. We got a little bit left over. Add some 2-inch guns. Torpedoes. Oh, we're very close now. 30 tons over. Ah, but here. Gotta do something about this as well. That adds some more weight. 89 tons over. Not sure what I want to drop here. Didn't do much. Drop 0.1 inch of main deck armor. Still keep the same inner deck. $44 over. There. And in future refits, we can probably add some more armor back to the fore and aft belts. But that is our new armored cruiser design. An interim solution until we get the big ones from the Maritime Design Bureau. Do we need a new light cruiser as well? Maybe. We got light cruiser hulls up to 4,000 tons now, I think. And I know, other than light cruiser 2, this one, these other ones are going to go obsolete pretty soon. So this one and these two. Standard 3-mast cruiser. Which to me seems like a pretty good hull to build something on. That one disappears. At least it does in the shared design shipbuilder. Which is a little bit sad because I think it's a nice light cruiser. A very like typical kind of light cruiser. And that's exactly what I'm after. Why is one of these funnels like mounted up there? There, same height. Maybe that's more funnel than I need. There. There's more funnels, still 4 of them. Good engine efficiency gives me good range. And we have 1,000 tons left to play with. I still want to go with 7-inch guns. I should have the Mark II pretty soon. But this time we're going to build them with decent like powders from the start and some more secondary weapons. Right. Now we might still have to reduce things here though. It's like a double torpedo mount. They don't fit 2 of them there? Okay. Okay. Flashfire challenge, 21%. Now, can we give this any sort of decent armor? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not 4 inches. Maybe 3.5 if I reduce some other things. You know what? We can drop the citadel. And the conning tower cannot have too much armor. On this one either. 29 tons overweight though. That's not too bad. Oh, it grew. I didn't mean to do that. There, minus 4 tons. I can probably earn that back by moving this. Like so. And we still have, like, main belt armor covering the actual main belt area, so that's good enough. Forfeit is not forfeit. I think it's a pretty decent little cruiser. Which even just out of the box should be a nice upgrade over the Nayade. Not that much more expensive either. 1,000 tons more. A little bit slower, just because it's on a different hull. But it's got more stability, more resistance. Nice. Hopefully it can actually win those light cruiser on light cruiser duels. I think I'll build... let's see. Thionville, we got 6 of them. I think I'll build 4 of these. Just to have one squadron. One full squadron. We'll put them in Marseille, where the new battleships will be. And that can be like the new primary task force. Until we get the ships that the Maritime Design Bureau are putting together for the 1900 Navy expansion plan. Right. Let's see next turn if we get a peace treaty with the Ottomans, or the Chileans, or the Spanish, for that matter. At this rate, I'd kind of like this war to keep going a little bit more, just so the army can take stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Peace with the Ottoman Empire. Let's see, what do we want to take? We could take some land, I guess. Could take some battleships. Not really interested in their armored cruisers. Nor their battleships, really, even if they're like decent designs out of the box, being shared designs and all. Well, as decent as they could be, limited to 8,500 tons. That kind of falls into territory where I can just do much better myself. So, they can keep their battleships. 354 million, though. That's a decent chunk of money. Like, what do I want to take here? I can like afford one territory, or maybe two. Kosovo, Dardanelles. I'd lose these two in a heartbeat if there's a war over in the Balkans there. How about Lebanon and Qatar? Sure. No transport losses this turn. We are marching into northern Spain. I have a new territory. Two new territories. Might need to station some light cruisers there. But at least this part is peaceful now. And send you to Barcelona. Chilean battleships are coming very slowly. Approaching. Let's take Eastern Samoa. Where are you, Chile? Here you are. Of course, now I realize I should really be taking Saipan instead. We'll see. You can head out, fight this light cruiser. You're equipped for it now. As if I'd be taking this one instead, I'll need to send my fleet over here just to have enough tonnage in the area to initiate that invasion. But if I'd taken that, then we would not risk a sudden peace treaty with Spain, and I'd give the army enough time to capture northern Spain. How is Spain doing? Do they have anything? They have that one light cruiser. Their economy it's still growing, but they're also blockaded. And I've taken one of their core territories. So they're not doing too hot. Right. Striking. Striking. And fighting. Spaniards' days of bullying my cruisers with their lack of armor, they're over. Or they should be. Maybe I should give these, like, standard ratio main gun ammo. Seeing as the HE is now very usable. I can do that in the next refit, when they finally get the Mark II 7-inch guns. Or I think increased HE would actually bring it closer to 50-50. We need to close in. My accuracy in this weather is just kind of poop. Their first penetration from one of the 3.4-inch guns. It's good that the angle of the aft turret is pretty good. They can fire even if I'm closing in. They are retreating. Or kiting away, as it were. Now they're on low fuel. Now we got them. 9.1 knots, that's cute. Are we gonna get torpedoed? Yes, actually. It wasn't too bad. They got it way worse than us. 90% structure, that's a 1-month repair. It was probably going to be that anyway. But we are running out of HE, so the ship is not perfected yet. And just as the weather improves, one of our last rounds of HE strikes home with an aft belt pen for a lot of damage. Didn't see the exact number. Oh, nice. No transport losses this turn. You can strike Saipan. This invasion is going well, but it's not really drawing out Chilean Navy as I'd hoped it would. They're still closing in on, what? Portuguese Guinea? They're trying to take. Might actually want to send some battleships there. I've got a couple of brand new ones. that will be ready to go soon. So how about I take these cruisers, send them out, fight this one armored cruiser. Then I'll just kind of hang around and wait for the main Chilean Navy to arrive, which will be that one battleship, 2 light cruisers, 4 heavies, another 2 light cruisers, and 4 torpedo boats. Didn't they have more? Anyway, that's it for this time. It looks like the Germans will take Eastern Poland off of the Russians. If they both have 100% army logistics, they do. And the Germans have the numbers to take it. Neither of them have, like, any big navies. But everyone is fighting, so they're probably all losing a lot of tonnage. The US, which is not involved in any wars currently, they're really rebuilding their navy. As are the British. That's a very mighty navy. 15 battleships. That would be something to fight someday. Goodbye, and take care.